Hello, my name is Juhi Park. I am a professor of theater based in Seoul, Korea. I am also a board member of Astage Korea. And I would like to talk about how the global pandemic affected theater in Korea in general. So the first few months of the pandemic, theaters shut down in Korea. That was last spring and until the better part of summer. So theaters were not allowed to open because there was a general government order on places where masses can gather to close. But they started opening at the end of the summer because people got a better idea of how the virus works, and people realized that when they're fully masked and the air ventilation system is working well, then there's a lesser possibility of getting the virus. So the theater started to open. It's still run at limited capacity, so about 50 to 60% of regular audience admittance. So if you have 100 seats, then you can only take in 50 or 60 audiences. So there's a space in between everyone. But in general, people's perception at the beginning of the pandemic, it was very much people were worried and they wouldn't go to the theater, and even though it was open. But now it has changed because even though a lot of performances were open for the past few months, have been open for the past few months, we don't really see anyone having contacted the virus inside the theater, except for several actors who were rehearsing without their masks. But that's a different story than the audiences. So nowadays, the big musicals and popular shows are all sold out, full capacity. Not full capacity, but all of their seats are sold out. The government also, but you do have to be fully masked during the entire performance. The government funding, the government ran several funds, special funds for artists who were affected by the pandemic. So like Seoul Cultural Foundation or the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, they gave out special funding to artists, not just actors, but all artists, theater artists in general who were affected by the pandemic. Of course, it was not enough to cover all the costs, but there was some funding to assist them. One of the interesting things about how the pandemic changed the landscape of theater is in online performances, because before the pandemic, other than NT Live at the National Theater of Korea, online performances were pretty much unheard of. But now it has kind of it has a special place now. So for special funding or for example, like the National Theater Company of Korea would do a show, but they would also do a paid viewing. So you can pay an X amount of money to watch that show online, and it's live streaming. So you would watch it as it is going on in the theater in Seoul. So, and people have gotten more used to that idea, and I've heard that companies are actually making money out of it now. So we'll see how that changes the landscape in the longer run, but it's too soon to say how it is affecting us right now. So this is my take on how the global pandemic affected Korean theater. And I hope that COVID-19 goes away soon and no other pandemics come in our way.